Is August 10th, 2024. Tired. I had nightmares of that idiot last night. Been divorced. Almost 5 years, still have nightmares at times of the hell these people put me through. Yesterday, on August 9th, 2024, some lady and her kids were getting in a van in Akron. And they said, well, Will said she couldn't say anything. Mothers told them, don't you say a word. Don't you say a word. None of this is funny. We all found out what was wrong with her before. And none of this is funny. On God's green earth, where did you find the drug cartel publicly human trafficking somebody in front of you? Rape and torturing them in front of you. I had teenagers off in the distance. That's the one the cartel has people make fun of because they tortured her in front of everyone. Pretty much. Where did you think a bunch of drug dealers torturing and raping somebody in front of you funny? And teaching your kids that raping, torturing a woman is funny. So what's going to happen to those little boys when they become teenagers? Gang rapes? Torturing people themselves? Because it's embedded, it's funny, right? Serial killers. Because it's funny killing people. It's funny selling people for money. Women and children, right? Publicly humiliating them. Selling kitty porn. It's funny, right? Like they said, these people are admitting to vile, heinous crimes. That's evil crimes. See, yesterday, they started following me around. So, all my video statements of where, in Hartville, I played from the tape where I gave the statement from where I called the hotline, and that agent went and met with everybody and told everyone that I called the FBI before he spoke to me. Okay? To witnessed by the police, and then on a recorded line, admitted several times he spoke to everyone before he talked to me, bullies me, and how he talked to me. People took off. It hit levels of not funny. Like they said, it's a big 4-day loophole. That agent, from the time she called the FBI hotline till he spoke to her, was 4 days. And in the 4 days, he went around meeting with everyone else, talking to everyone, and telling them that she called the FBI hotline. Witnessed by the police. Admitted on a recorded line. Several times he spoke to everyone and bullies her. Makes her beg for her life and then lists her informant and then threatens her. And it all goes back. He already told everyone she called the FBI. And then on top of it, I talked to a criminal attorney, prosecutor's office, and police departments out of this area. Or police officers out of this area. You don't even have enough authority to ask someone to stay quiet. It's a freedom of speech. Nobody can tell you can't say anything but a judge in a jury trial. We live in the United States of America. You don't like Biden, you can say it. You don't like Trump, you can say it. Right? You have a freedom of speech. The government would like to tell us we can't say stuff, but they can't. It takes a judge and a jury trial. He's only a higher police officer. Huh? He's only a higher police officer. You don't even have that kind of authority. It takes a judge to put a cake order on you. We all know that. These people have been running around thinking that the cartel's funny. Killing people like it's a show. And it's reality. They took thousands of kids and women. Sold them for sex, slaves, and murder. That Pete's a serial killer. See, this is where you got to think how morbid Pam and Savannah are, let alone that Pete. She had a drug dealer's baby when she was real young. She's out screwing my husband with a bunch of other women, okay? She's so psychotic because she had a drug dealer's baby. Get the cartel involved. Oh, and by the way, PD Poo, that's another whole hot mess. See, that's where the Muslim women a month ago up in Summit Mall, the king said not to say a word to her. They called him a terrorist for having his people watch her. Okay. Well, then in Belden Village, this last week, they were talking, and that the one the king had his people watch. Then he found out they were calling him a terrorist for this, and found out it was one of his drug dealers that did this. Well, they even tortured her. That is terrorism. Selling people, killing, harming them in front of people, that is terrorism. Hello, dumbasses. Well, let's just say, because I usually have somebody who looks Middle Eastern around me, and not too far, or a Muslim lady in a hijab. Guess what? They found out it was Pete. One of his drug dealers did this. And you set up a fentanyl king to look like a terrorist. It's one thing if you're a drug dealer. It's a whole different level when you're a terrorist that kills people. People. See, that's where people have said, what was that agent thinking? Oh, he thought he was going to steal a bunch of money from the government. See, like they set up in Akron the other day. They already got that agent for extortion and embezzlement. The one over in Case. I know. You got to think on a recorded line. That agent acts like he's going along with everything for strangers lie of faking you were sick and faking you got well and it was a medication error. A medical malpractice. And it's a stupid gay lie. Huh? And somebody, yeah. I told you, he told the Apostolic Church of Barberton he knew I was being drug beat, raped, and didn't care. Because strangers lie, and then supposed to be mean to their women. I didn't go to their church. Where would I be mean to them? Then I found out it was special little Katie. The one that dates my brother-in-law. Yeah, my sister's still married to him. Been dating him for 20 years. To the stranger's son's girlfriend on the side. And they're crying. Like they said, Katie was willing to lie because she dates Tim. I hadn't talked to her in 7 years. And I recorded, he told them she was going to be faking she was sick, and faking she got well, whatever we were grieving. They never agree they're serial killers. Her father killed her kid, speeding, ran a stop sign into a semi. I had 6 to 10 surgeries, my muscles locked up, went to a bunch of crackpots, falsely diagnosed me, gave me a bunch of wrong medicine, my whole body swelled up, gained 150 pounds, thyroid shut down, adrenal gland shut down, my heart valves enlarged, had many heart attacks, brain swelling. They lied I had brain tumors, caused seizures, wanted to remove part of my brain. And they're telling me I had level 2 pituitary tumors. And it took another doctor to tell me they were known for lying, ripping people off, making them sick, getting kickbacks from drug companies from $200 to $1,000 per false prescription. Wasn't the first one, the only one they were doing it to. Get an attorney and sue them in terminal estate so they pull their license. There's nothing wrong with you, but your muscles locked up. From all those surgeries, they're inducing everything. I would have sued him if Strange wouldn't have pushed Danny to suicide. See, that's the whole thing. I gotta watch what time it is. I have to go to work here in a little bit. Like they said, those doctors almost killed her. What would they back? And it took another doctor. And they've already deemed it medical malpractice. Also as a place. Fraud. That doctors can go to jail 50 years for that. Yeah, because you can't say something's wrong with someone. Treat them for it. That person almost dies. And another doctor tells you they're ripping you off. Get off the medication, you'll be fine. You get off the medication, it takes you 9 months to learn to walk again. And you slowly get well. And it's proven when you get off the medication, you get well. It was the medicine doing it. That makes it an attempt to murder and fraud. You go to jail for that. And then in my unique case, I had that other lady using my insurance. And it was probably one of Dave's girlfriends. Where they always said, Karen, I'm with you except for when I'm at work. Well, we all know now he didn't stay at work. I hate paid time off. He was off. Like they said in 21, we all know Karen's ex-husband was cheating. Okay. Now, we're going to put it this way. And we'll put it this way. And that lady ran up all kinds of bills. Staying in hospitals, doctors I've never even heard of. Half my brother knew of her, my mom knew about her. I'll tell you what. Anybody on the union committee, my brother would know their names. They'd still be alive. From Midwest Rubber, from 2001 and before, they all knew of the insurance fraud. Some guys in Akron the other day, we already knew, Pete and her mom knew about that lady using her insurance. They're going to be toast. They find Kay McMillan. Oh, Kay McMillan's still alive. She will rip you a new one, how big a crook Dave is. And there's no way she would have got that company's ID and all that information if he didn't give it to her. Because she didn't have to show ID back then. You could call it in later. That woman stayed in the hospitals, had procedures, found out from a hospital. She had 2 little girls. I have 3 boys. Seen doctors I've never heard of. And it's already documented by the police that another woman was using my insurance for 15 years. See, that's where the whole thing of it is. Those doctors that almost killed me, it's 23 years ago. 22 years ago. I don't even remember but maybe 1 or 2 of their names. You gotta think I had brain swelling, crystals forming in my eyes. I had, let's see, heart attack, so swollen I had to use canes and braces, thyroid, adrenal gland shut down. I was pretty well dying. And I would have been dead in a few months if that doctor wouldn't have stepped up and told on him. And they would have removed my pituitary gland. It was on Google. Doctors are still pulling this. One guy got 50 years this year. So, it's been 22, 23 years. And then before that, for 15 years, because after when we first got married in 85, by 86, I was pregnant with Joshy. And my dad was vice president of Midwest Rubber. He gave Dave a job with good insurance, and they called it the Golden Ticket Insurance Company they were ripping off. Paid for, 70 to 80% of everything. Okay? And right away, I started getting bills that weren't mine. And doctors I've never even heard of reported insurance fraud. And that's when Kane went off on Dave. There's no way that lady would have got the company's ID number and all this other information if you didn't give it to him. He told me, he's like, Karen, I'm at work. Except for when I'm with you. Some crazy lady's got a hold of our insurance. And blah, 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 blah. Oh, we all know we don't stay at work. That damn paid all time off. Now, there's a lot of people that knew about that lady. Half my medical records are hers for 15 years. I told you, what was it, 2001, 2002? Got a phone call. Was at home. We want to talk about your stay in the hospital. I said, ma'am, I haven't stayed in the hospital in years. She's like, you see Dr. So-and-so. Never heard of him. And I tell her about this crazy lady using my insurance run up all kinds of bills. Even with the 70, 80%, we got stuck with like $3,200, $3,100, $27, $2,100, $1,200, $700 worth of interest. Not interest, but copays. She just went Harry-carry on my insurance. Okay, and I tell her about it. She said, well, we sat and talked, don't you remember? I said, ma'am, I've never met you. What part of this other woman's using my insurance? Well, you have 2 little girls. I was like, look, I have 3 stinky boys. Their names are this. I said, those are nice names, and I'm telling you, it's some other woman using my insurance. And she's like, well, and she reads off my insurance information. And she said, we'll put it this way, you still owe that copay, and hung up. Her job was to call the police. Some lady was committing identity fraud and insurance fraud, and she was to get her arrested, not to collect the bill. That happened more than what you would think. You didn't have to show ID back then. You just had to call in your insurance. People used other people's insurances all the time back then. And it was probably one of Dave's girlfriends. You do realize that really wasn't funny when that Lauren showed up and said she was one of Dave's illegitimate daughters. And part of her mother committing identity fraud and insurance fraud. That really wasn't funny. No. See, that's weird. There isn't even HIPAA violations. A doctor cannot even say that you were seen by him without your written or verbal consent. They cannot talk to anybody. They are sworn by their license the right of privacy over what you say to them, what they treat you for. They're not allowed to testify against you in court. Why? Because they're to take care of you. Right. Do no harm. Right? They're also sworn to privacy with a license attached to it. What happens when they break the right to privacy over the HIPAA violations? It's 1 to 5 years. And a $250,000 fine. Now, do you think a doctor from 21 or 22 to 24 years ago even remembers me? Are they probably still in practice? No. Are they probably retired? Yeah. Told you. I only remember maybe 1 or maybe 2 doctors' names. I don't even remember their name. Do you think Dave would remember? No. So where would these people get my medical information? They wouldn't. HIPAA. They go to jail for giving it to them. They're lying. And see, that's where they're saying Pam Strange just run around telling everybody to pull records here, blah, 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 blah. She's an RN nurse. She can't even admit I was seen anywhere. She will go to jail 5 years and a $250,000 fine. And so is her daughter, Savannah. And I want you to think how dangerous they are. I want you to think how dangerous they are. Not only are they breaking the law, which makes me even think where that lady had, was using my insurance. She may know that lady. Think about it. Now I want you to think about how dangerous her and her daughter Savannah is. She's a little 18-year-old kid, had a drug dealer's baby when she was real young. She starts fucking my husband. And she thinks she can have the drug cartel, have him get him here. The wife of her new boyfriend, and she's a rich bitch. Like they said, people found out how much money her family had. Nobody thought it was funny. They were telling people they were poor. Pam is an RN nurse, been an RN nurse since she's probably early 20s. Husband Jack, electrician. My son John, electrician. Over 14 years ago, was making 150 grand a year. RN nurses make that. They made way over $300,000 a year. Do you usually make $1 million every 3 years? They do. The rich and entitled. Do you know how long it'll take me to make $1 million? Like 20 years. Now, I want you to think about this. They have all this money. Why would you want to harm me in the first place? That's mental illness. Why would you hire a drug dealer to stalk me on his own? He was to be arrested for taking a hit job. To destroy, harm, or kill someone is hiring a hitman. They take the hit. It's 10 years. They get hurt. It's 20. They die. It's life. It's premeditated murder. So what was to happen to Pete the first day? He was to go to jail. And Dave for arrest, for hiring. Okay? Now think of this. They're so dangerous. They get that drug dealer in the drug cartel to break in roofie drinks, and I get a Diet Coke of all things. Don't even know they're in my home. Drug me up, beat and rape me, and I wake up with bruises, throwing up, heart racing, and severe infected, and I thought it was the dirty well water killing me. Wake up with injection marks. They're having people pump illegal drugs in me. She's that dangerous. Dave threatened my children and my grandchildren's life, and she was part of that, threatening even a brand new baby's life. And having people play with their vehicles, of taking lug nuts off their tires, so their tire would come off when they're driving. Josh's car blew up on the highway. They couldn't say what happened. He barely got out alive. They played with they slashed tires, flattened them, played with the brake system, so when you pull forward, the tires would explode. They tried to kill my kids and grandchildren. They tried to kill babies. Huh? How dangerous are they? And they want to say they were in with that drug dealer that was drug beat and raping me and human trafficking me. They want to say they were in it with selling kiddie porn and my grandkids going potty. They were yelling it up in Akron. They said they already got these people admitting that they drugged and told me to say it. Photoshopped all their lies. Photoshopped the shower scene and made everything up on me. And they also have them admitting they were selling kiddie porn and my grandkids going potty. They have them nailed for several life sentences. Do you realize how dangerous they are. Just because she was fucking my husband and she's a rich entitled bitch. I want you to start thinking how dangerous and psychotic she is and how evil. See, that's where in April, a woman on the strip, she admits in front of people, Uncle Dave had, with her granddaughter, Uncle Dave had someone tape her before. We walk outside. And people were busting out laughing. It took her long enough to confess she was in it with Dave with no stalking tapes. Her family was already linked to the following Randy. They've already got her family taped defending her. And these people admitting they made everything up on her. Drugged her and told her to say it. And photoshopped everything. Her kids better never verified that they were part of that. Or they were in it with Dave and Savannah trying to kill her and cover it up. Yeah. Because they defended me in front of the police. And they didn't know anything of this. Now, that's where, when I was seeing that Eric, some guy was outside that night. I told her, she's already been taped of knowing of those stalking tapes. They ever find out she was part of them, she's going to go to jail a long time. And they said that guy, Chris, she's never met him. The one that they said that they erased out of her room, I didn't ever have him in my home. He was one of the main people harming me. That's where people in North Canton said that they found, Chris and his gang found out how much money Savannah and her family had. And they didn't think it was funny. They thought they were poor. So, because somebody's poor, you're going to have an innocent person drug beat and raped. Photoshopped, showering, trying to extort money out of a victim because your friend's poor. It's called get a job. GoFundMe account, car washes. Something. You don't harm somebody because your friend's poor. It makes you dangerous. When you start looking at these people that they are vile and dangerous, and they're serial killers and child molesters. They sold kitty porn on my grandkids going potty. They sold me on porn sites. They photoshopped a shower scene and laughed in my face. They did it on purpose. That they where I had bruises I couldn't explain, throwing up, heart racing, almost passing out. They had been drugging me up and telling me to say all kinds of stuff. Now, where do you think it's funny human trafficking somebody? Where do you think it's funny beating, raping somebody? Then you think it's funny they bashed in the back of my head. They said it should have been fatal. I stutter now when I get upset. I was raped and tortured publicly. Like teenage kids. That's the one, that cartel, tortured in front of everybody and they had people laugh at her. You know who's having you laugh at me? Drug dealers. Who did this? Like they said, a drug dealer did this to her. They've hired a drug dealer to run a sextortion scam of drug confessions and photoshopping and washing. That's racketeering. Drugs, rape, threats, and attempted extortion under it. Is racketeering, it's automatic 20 years. Without the kitty porn, assault with a deadly weapon, attempted murder. Pete and Dave and everybody involved by federal law was to be arrested the first day. Oh, and by the way, Pete, like those Muslim women, the king found out that it was one of his drug dealers that set him up to look like a terrorist. It's one thing if you're a drug dealer. There's another thing when you're a terrorist. Killing and raping and torturing people and selling them. That's a whole different level of evil what you are. Now, you want to say Pam and Savannah want to put their name on that? You better arrest them. They're quite dangerous. And I'll tell you what. Where they said they could make me give up everything in life, they've gave up everything in life and fled the country. Never coming back. And I'm telling you, like they said, her ex-husband gave up everything to join the drug cartel. And I'll tell you, he's moving something between the Philippines and Japan, or he wouldn't be jet setting 3,000 miles all the time, and it's a heavy drug area. He's moving something. Because, do you travel 3,000 miles all the time? Or is he getting the money to do it? He don't have that kind of money. Exactly. Cartel does. I'm going to upload that.